And Texas, however, will get the football first to start this half. And this is Cosby. And he is well covered. Now, Boone Pickens, this is Boone Pickens Stadium, of course, and he is a big benefactor of Oklahoma State athletics. And now, Mr. Pickens, and $5,000 are, that's not a whole lot of his fortune.
He could go home and find it in his couch right now, probably.
He's done well for himself, and Texas looks like they're going to get very close to a first down on the opening play for them in the third quarter. Certainly, Jesse, a much better start for Texas than the first play of the first quarter, the Colt McCoy interception that was returned for the touchdown by Jacob Lacey. But what do you see in this first half for Texas that's got to change, or from the first half that's got to change in the second half?
Well, I really think this game so far has been a game of momentum. In that first quarter, it was all Oklahoma State capitalizing on a lot of the Texas problems and turnovers. They started gaining back some of that momentum in the second quarter, but then it was a great job on that last drive by Oklahoma State to capitalize, get a touchdown going in. They just got to keep doing what they're doing, stick with it, get some of that momentum back.
And Colt McCoy gets another first down for Texas. Vince, you had a chance to talk to both coaches.
Better. We're confident that we can and will be.
And they certainly are here, Vince, with 3 plays and 3 first downs. Nate Jones with the catch, and Texas quickly moving down the field. And you know, Texas has done this kind of thing before in this particular series against Oklahoma State. They had 2 huge comebacks in 04 and in 05.
Total combined, look at that, 87-point deficit. They were able to come back in those 2 seasons. History dictates that this Texas team plays better against Oklahoma State in the second half. That was the message Mack Brown gave his players coming on the road into this stadium, was weather the storm in the first half, because we'll have the advantage in the second half.
Under Brown on the road, the Longhorns are 37-7. McCoy sees everything open up. It doesn't stay open for very long, though. Picked up a couple of yards, though, before Patrick Levine put him down. Now the Pacific Life game summary.
It was early for Texas. One, a fumble by Adarius Bowman in the second half for Oklahoma State. Aside from that, OSU with the advantage in rushing yards, but look at the number on passing yards as well. 219, well above what Texas was able to do.
And McCoy, several pump fakes. Now, dangerous throw, and it is brought in, but inbounds or not. Oklahoma State wound up with the football. That's Lacey. Now he's arguing that he gets his 3rd interception, and then the officials say, no, nobody gets anything, and it's 3rd down.
Well, again, Colt McCoy just doing a nice job feeling his way in the pocket. They get a bit of a wheel route by Nate Jones. There's Jordan Shipley on the sidelines, out of bounds.
3rd down and 8 coming up.
Again, this Oklahoma State defense has done a very good job against the pass.
Well, 116th in the nation coming in.
You can't say it enough, I think. They've created turnovers. They've made big plays in coverage.
We're going to look this one over. Again, all plays are reviewed, of course, but this one's going to get some extra.
The ruling on the field is reversed. The Oklahoma State caught the ball. His left foot came inbounds. The Oklahoma State ball on the 6-yard line, first down.
You and I have missed both of the reviews, and that is Lacey's 3rd pick.
Well, they've determined then that Jacob Lacey right now has possession of the football when the left foot lands right there. He has the ball, 1 foot is down and inbounds, and that is his 3rd interception today.
4th on the season, and that nice little drive that you and I were talking about is abruptly ended.
You're Oklahoma State right now. You put an exclamation point on the first half with a touchdown, and you come back in the first series again defensively in the second half and get a turnover right away in the passing game.
Savage at the top of the eye with Zach Carter, the fullback spot for Oklahoma State at the 6. And that's Pettigrew. Tough to bring down. Not quite made the first down. Dion Beasley flipped him. Very close to the mark, but a little bit short.
I like the play call. It's the 2nd time today we've seen this action. It's a naked bootleg to the right. It's a simple pass route. Brandon Pettigrew in the flat. A very easy completion, putting the ball in the hands of your big playmaker and letting him get north and south.
They do a lot of moving pocket here, I've noticed.
They do, and you know why? Because they can run the football so well. It sets it up and makes it easier to get to.
Savage, that's the first down. You see that little stutter step in such small space there, and he was able to pick up some additional yardage.
Oklahoma State runs a counter-action, run-type play. It's a little bit of misdirection, and again, you're right, the vision of Dontrell Savage. So we go back and take a look at this. It's just reverse it, ball handling for the quarterback, and there's Savage. What's so great about him, too, is that, you know, yeah, he does move east-west, but at the beginning, he's moving very north-south. He's getting the yards he needs necessarily at the beginning of the run, and his just ability to make guys miss, I think, is so impressive.
Again, that moving pocket, and they'll double up one more time. Why not? Pettigrew. Too strong for one man to bring down. He lost the ball, but in a favorable place for the Cowboys. That is just a load of 6'6", 260.
And it's not a complicated play. There are 9-year-old football teams that run that exact football play, but if it's working and Texas can't stop it, why would you stop calling it? If you're running the football as well as you are right now at Oklahoma State, I'd keep dialing that up until they can stop me.
The ball is put down to the 33-yard line. You see Robinson having an outstanding day, spreading the ball around, got 13 yards on that play with Pettigrew. And this time Robinson nifty on the fake, but Texas was not fooled. McElroy, number 38, pardon me, and also Orakpo in there for the Longhorns.
It's a nice job by McElroy and Orakpo staying at home, playing assignment football. You have to do that against this Oklahoma State offense. With the option game and the Q game, you have to play your assignments, play your gaps. That was nicely demonstrated there by Texas.
All the way, and where you could see from the start of that play that McElroy had that one read for Savage. He walked up Jesse as if it looked like he was going to blitz, and then he didn't, and his eyes stayed with Savage the entire time.
Yeah, and it's a good idea. Dontrell Savage is a good chance that's maybe where the football is going on third down. Now look at Zach Robinson's numbers right now, 7 for 7 on third down, converting 5 of them into firsts. It's been big for this Oklahoma State defense over the past 5 weeks. Much better third down conversion ratio. They're not getting penalized as much. The third downs are more manageable. Last week against K-State, they converted 3 third and longs into touchdowns.
Back the other way on the throwback, and open is Pettigrew, and he's got a little room here. Finally dragged down in Texas territory. Once again, McElroy's made a lot of the stops on this drive, but they just continue to throw to Pettigrew.
It's the same play that got Oklahoma State set up at the 1-yard line to score at the end of the first half. This is just a rollout by Zach Robinson. And Brandon Pettigrew on the throwback is just going to cut across the grain in the action away from Texas defenders, wide open. He gets the throw completed, and a beautiful drive here so far for Oklahoma State to start the third quarter.
Talked about it at the beginning of the show. If you're just joining us, Oklahoma State has led all the way in this game, and they've done it with an extraordinary number of offensive weapons. Pettigrew now 7 catches, 74 yards by our count. And here's another one of the weapons right there for Mike Gundy's team, Dontrell Savage. Let's go to Mount Weiner, New York. They'll get an update on Oklahoma State over 14th ranked Texas. 1997 was the last time the Cowboys beat the Longhorns in this series. Savage trying to move that pile to the first down is not able to do it. So here comes a third and short. And one thing we have picked up on is the quick go for Oklahoma State.
Absolutely. This is a situation certainly where they can quick huddle, get to the line of scrimmage quickly, fast, try to catch the defense off guard. It looks like they're just going to set up in a no-huddle situation. Just get this thing snapped, get it going. Don't allow Texas to change personnel.
Let's see who's guilty here. That was interesting because I've watched up the field. Des Bryant was on a takeoff pattern toward the end zone.
Well, he's a guy that he's a guy that can go get it too.
Whoops, Pistol Pete inadvertently fired the pistol there. Not supposed to do that there, Pete.
Offsides on the defense. Number 99. It's a 5-yard penalty, and the yardage is enough for a first down.
40 students now cannot hear. I'll tell you what's great. Zach Robinson, that's the 3rd time now he's been able to trigger the Texas D-line offsides. Doing a great job with the play count and the snap count, taking advantage of playing at home. Really slows that pass rush down. Sorry, Bill.
No, that's what I was going to say. 23 first downs for Oklahoma State. Going to the end zone this time. No, they go underneath. This may wind up in the end zone, though. It's Bowman, and he is in. Well, they cleared that out so nicely.
It seems like everything Oklahoma State dials up offensively in this football game is working, and it's all because their ability to run the football successfully. It opens up so much else for them in the passing game, whether it's play action, whether it's option, whether it's sprint out, throwback. They got plays, they got guys running wide open.
Number 10 total offense in the NCAA, 488 yards per game. And they are racking it up right now. That's an 8-play, 94-yard drive, and 441 set up by Jacob Lacey's 3rd interception of the ball game. And for the 2nd time today, Oklahoma State has a 21-point lead. One more look at Darius Bowman. He's really maybe not going to be all first team Big 12, huh? All right. Oklahoma State in command again. 2nd time they built up a 21-point lead. At the moment, she's right. Zach Robinson, 2 touchdowns. 24 of 31 for 294 yards, and one of the finest offenses in the country has been nearly, not completely flawless, but pretty close to it. This is Cosby. Maybe he can make something happen for Texas. They won't let it. Oklahoma State special teams. Well, you know, this college, we'll find out how happy he was and is in a moment. Meantime, Texas has got to find something. Boy, that's a dangerous play in your own end. If that doesn't work out well, that could be returned for Oklahoma State, but it did, and let's join.
We'll come back to Sean after this play. Dave?
Let's see what they do on 2nd and 5. Screen it out. Boy, look at how Charles made a miss. Wow.
I like this team.
Good luck to you.
Thanks a lot.
Dave?
Thank you, Vince and Sean. McCoy wanted to go down the middle of the field, could not. I think he threw that pass beyond the line of scrimmage.
And that's what Nathan Peterson's saying right now.
I don't see a flag here, Jesse, and I think there ought to be. In fact, I'll be honest, I didn't think it was even close. Now, Nate Jones made the catch. I thought he was at least a yard past the line of scrimmage. And I know we're high up here at Boone Pickens Stadium, but I still don't see a flag.
Well, there's the blue line. That's the line of scrimmage. The ball has to be out now. You're right, Dave. He looked like he was way past that line when he let it go.
I'm afraid the crew missed this one.
Oh, now the line judge is calling timeout. Mike Gundy's about 10 yards on the football field right now.
Well, and he needs to back it up. Now, one thing, I've always been amazed at how much more tolerant football officials are than basketball officials when it comes to coach behavior. At this point in a basketball game, he'd be in the locker room.
Wow, and he's got coaches trying to console him on the sideline. He's ripping him off.
Well, I'm not sure that's necessary either. Now, they're going to go back and review this.
Well, if it gets reviewed, you have to think this thing gets overturned. There's no question. I mean, it's not like it's even close. He looks like he's a full yard past the line of scrimmage when he lets the ball go.
Of course, Mike's been known to get excitable, as I think the entire country knows.
Absolutely. You see Colt McCoy now rolling to his right. Right now, look, he's easily over a yard past the line of scrimmage.
The review continues. We'll tell you about that.
After review, the ruling on the field is reversed. It has been determined that the quarterback was beyond the line of scrimmage when he threw the pass. Therefore, it is a legal forward pass. The penalty being enforced from the 39-yard line, 5 yards, and a loss of down. Make it 2nd down.
All right, there you go. That is the correct call.
That's the right call. What amazes me is that it wasn't even close. It almost should have never not got called.
Well, everything is starting to go away from Mack Brown. In the 2nd quarter, Texas came from 21-0 down to make it 21-14. Forced a fumble by Oklahoma State in Texas territory. Could not do anything with it, and they lost the momentum since then. And there you see your score and time. So instead of a first down in Oklahoma State territory, and it's been a tough day for Colt McCoy. All 3 interceptions by the same player, Jacob Lacey. And McCoy has had some pretty good runs and does a nice job to get a couple of positive yards out of that. Well, Tuesday was the expert on the ladies.
No.
Come on.
Don't do it to me. I'm too young.
Third down, and 5. That was a heck of a game by McCoy to pick up 10 there. He's got an opening here, and he'll have a first down. Again, he just had a run play called for him a week ago, but he's doing damage with his feet.
He is, and took this team from a position where it was 2nd and 15, 2nd and very long, and 2 run plays later, he's able to convert it.
Cox and Collins in on that stop. Well, we talked with these coaching staffs, and they both have the same expression. Called explosive plays. 12-yard plus runs, 16-yard passes. They've both exceeded their ideal, not even close. Going for one here. Texas with a drop ball by Cosby. Unbelievable. That's the most open any Texas receiver I think has been all game.
And they have to take advantage of these chances. They haven't had a lot so far. Quan Cosby is 5 yards behind the cornerback, and that ball has to be caught. Texas has to capitalize on those chances. They haven't had a lot against this 116th ranked pass defense.
Well, they got to try again to go on the option. Haven't seen much in this quarter from Jamal Charles, and he just ran into about 3 different players.
Texas's offense starting to look a lot like Oklahoma State's offense all of a sudden, isn't it? The quarterback's now more involved running the football. They're running the option now a little bit with Colt McCoy. I think that's out of their comfort zone a little bit, though. I think they would rather stay away from that as much as possible. They have to do it certainly a little bit, but now here's another big third down.
Ricky Price made the big hit that time on Charles. I don't think McCoy wants to run here. He may not get the chance. Sacked. Only the 12th sack all season long by this Cowboy defense. It's a loss of 11, a loss of 6.
Well, Oklahoma State came into this football game ranked 97th in the nation. They only had 11 sacks coming in, but there's relentless pressure surrounding Colt McCoy. He's forced to cut back.
That's Derek Burton on the sack.
Just a great job of just staying after the quarterback, not quitting on the play, forcing a punt here for Texas. Great job by the defense.
Trying to see if he can get this inside the 20-yard line. This is just crushed. Look at the spin. Well, that's a beauty there. Beautifully done for the Longhorns by Justin Moore. And Oklahoma State will have bad field position. But you know what? The last time they had the ball, they had lousy field position too, and it didn't stop them. We'll see what happens. Oklahoma, believe me, the Oklahoma State fans will remember Barry Sanders. And will he be one of the top 25 college football players? Wide open. This is Bowman. How do you let him go? That's not Bowman. It's Seth Newton, number 15, not number 12. And Seth Newton, only his 4th catch of the season, and it's a damaging one as Oklahoma State gets out of the shadow of their own end zone.
Seth Newton, the former high school quarterback here, they just run a little pump and go, and they have Brandon Pettigrew and Seth Newton running down the seams. It's really take your pick. If you're Zach Robinson, look at this. Look at 2 players just in the seam. It's too far of a way for Marcus Griffin to get all the way over there. That is an enormous play to get the football out of your own end.
And not a conservative call either. You think they might go on the ground with Savage, which they do here. And that seems to be working also. And Savage breaking through some bad tackling. Flag is down, however. And we have a shaken up Longhorn on the field back to the 42-yard line. And that is Robert Killebrew. And injuries have been a problem for Texas today.
Holding on the offense, number 61. A 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. Still first down.
Well, David Koenig, the outstanding left guard, making his 33rd straight start. And let's see what happened to Killebrew here.
We're going to get a chance to see Robert Killebrew, the outside linebacker, just trying to lower his shoulder into Dontrell Savage.
Well, Vince Killebrew is jogging off the field, but I understand it's been a very long day for the training staff down there, Longhorns.
In the game, Texas lost starting center Dallas Griffin to a right knee injury.
Thank you, Vince. First down and 20 after the holding penalty. And Savage can get a lot of it back in a hurry, but not this time. Only a yard as the middle of that Texas defense. McElroy, we've called that name quite a bit today, playing well for Texas.
Well, we talked about the depth for Texas and how they're one of maybe the 7-8 programs in the nation that can afford to have unbelievable players on their first and second team in terms of the depth charts, but that's getting tested today. It's been tested really all season long. They had 8 starters coming into this game. It's at least one game. But lots of injuries today as well. We'll find out just how deep this Texas team is.
We'll see how much Texas has given up. They only have 270 themselves. They've given up nearly 500, nearly 475 actually, but getting on the way to 500. Savage made a nice nifty catch, but Texas got to him quickly. Third down and 10 coming up. Bobineau and McElroy. But this is still a little bit of a, I don't want to say inexperienced Texas defense, but let's face it, look what they had last year that they don't have this year.
Absolutely, and it's really on just the defensive side of the ball. 3 of their 4 players in the secondary are now playing in the NFL. 2 of them went in the first round, and you lose both of your defensive ends. I know you have a lot of depth at Texas, but that's very hard to make up for. You mentioned it earlier, too. 2 years in a row, they've lost the Jim Thorpe Award.
Yep.
How often does that happen?
Maybe the first time it's ever happened. Thorpe relatively new among the college football trophies. Taking the deep shot right now, trying to get it down to Bryant, and it's out of bounds. Good coverage that time, I thought, by the Texas secondary. Dion Beasley was right with him. Well, near the conclusion of our folks, the man himself will donate $5,000 to the Texas athletic program. That punt, by the way, could be near perfect at the 1-yard line. Only the second punt for Matt Fodge today, and he couldn't possibly have done it any better. Well, LSU and Alabama, a heated game. They may have called this a touchback. Is that possible? Texas hovering around the 20-yard line. Let's see what the referee has to say.
The defense, well, men in formation. That penalty is declined. The ball in place at the 1-yard line, first down.
Okay, there we go. That was the reason for the holdup. Mike Gundy was kind of agitated, and I wasn't sure if they were saying that punt was not correctly called, but it was at the 1-yard line.
And Oklahoma State is just hitting on all cylinders right now, aren't they? Whether it's offense, running the ball, and passing the ball. Defense, particularly against the pass, and the kicking game now. What a punt to pin these guys down, really inside their 1-yard line. It doesn't get much better than this. If you're Mike Gundy, you have to just be amazed and just thrilled with the way your team is performing in all dimensions of the game.
Only 18 minutes of football left, too. Texas, worst field position they've had in this game, obviously. And if they don't get out of this, they may not get out of Stillwater with a win. Drop the football! McCoy may have gotten it back. Boy, that's the second or third time they've had problems with exchanges. Once Dallas Griffin went out in the first quarter, Chris Hall has taken over at that center position.
They've had problems with the exchanges, not just from under center, but also in the shotgun. You see that ball almost hit him right in the chest coming out.
Watch what he does, though. Watch him leap out of the end zone. That was smart. If he puts his knee down in the end zone, that's really dangerous for Texas. They may have actually picked up a half a foot there.
Yeah, in a funny way, it actually almost worked out to their advantage.
You could see the hit coming. They do clear a little space, but Jacob Lacey was all over Jermichael Finley. Get it out to the 5-yard line. Here's a critical third down so far in this half. All we've seen is a turnover and a punt from Texas in this game in this third quarter.
And while Oklahoma State's been doing a better job against the pass, you look at the numbers coming into the game, they're 168th in the nation, but the biggest reason why is because they haven't been able to get pressure on the quarterback. We just talked about it last series. They only had 11 sacks on the season coming into today. And while they've been able to control Texas so far in this game, you're seeing them now not bring so much pressure. They're just laying back and almost confident that they can make plays against the Texas wide receivers. We're not used to seeing that from them.
Obayana is the tailback for the Longhorns. McCoy avoids the safety, but does not get the first down. Great pursuit that time, run down by Nathan Peterson, the senior from Tulsa.
Another example of Oklahoma State, their ability in this game to get pressure with only 4 players. It makes it so much easier on the other 7 guys in coverage. They've just gotten after Colt McCoy so well this game so far. They came into this football game blitzing 49% of the time, which is way above the average in the Big 12 Conference this year. But again, Dave, we haven't seen it so much today because they're getting pressure with 4 guys, and they're making plays in the secondary.
I also wonder how much they were influenced by watching what happened with Nebraska, Jesse. Nebraska just sold out almost 3/4 of the time, and it ultimately didn't work out for them.
Big play, bad play, that's right. You blitz too much, you can get burned, and happened to them in the 4th quarter.
Well, field position here. Now, we've had some big kicks from the left-footed Moore. He drives Cox back, fair catch, 45-yard line. That's a very good punt, but still, look where the Cowboys are going to be with one of the most potent offenses in the country. We've got to mention that they're only one of 3 in the country averaging 230 yards on rushing and passing. Only Oregon and Houston able to do what Oklahoma State is able to do. Now, on East
Dixon out there in Oregon, that running back, Jonathan Stewart, is a beast. He's leading the Pac-10 right now in rushing.
Robinson, nice play action, looking, and goes underneath instead. He wanted to look long for Bowman, but you know what? When Brandon Pettigrew was having a career day, why not go to him? The official says that Pettigrew was down, and that will be a first down for the Cowboys.
This shows a lot of maturity to me of Zach Robinson on this pass play, because while he has Brandon Pettigrew running down the boundary, McElroy was right in his hip pocket, and Zach Robinson was able to back shoulder the ball where only his receiver could catch it. And it ended up working out great. It's an added dimension of maturity for Zach Robinson. We all knew he could run the football, but this might be the best I've ever seen him throw it.
Pettigrew, 8 catches for 87. That's a career high for him in number of catches. Robinson again, a moving pocket. This time he'll keep it moving. And didn't run out of, I thought he might just take it OB and not bother getting hit, but Griffin tossed him out of bounds. Well, you got to give credit when you get that kind of offense to your offensive line. Look at what they've done.
Yeah, they've only given up 1 sack. It's unbelievable, and most of that will go and get credited to the offensive line, but you have to give a lot of that credit to Zach Robinson as well. His ability to just run around, make things happen. Really, coming into this game, they were 5th in the nation in sacks allowed. They don't give up very much. They give up less than 1 a game.
A little problem there on the handoff with Savage. And he stepped out of bounds, I thought, near the 40-yard line, but the official says he did not. And finally, Texas takes care of him right around the 40. Well, you know, the funny thing about Zach Robinson is he was not the #1 quarterback at the beginning of the season. Bobby Reed was. Reed got hurt in a game against Florida Atlantic. Robinson came on, threw 3 touchdown passes, and there was some initial confusion about who the quarterback was going to be.
Yeah, there was a bit of a touchy situation. After the game, they had asked Mike Gundy who his starting quarterback was. He said it would stay Bobby Reed because you can't lose your job to injury. But then they went and watched the tape and watched Zach Robinson play. They said he played flawlessly and later reversed the decision to give him the job.
That is the end of the 3rd quarter. Oklahoma State in command by 21. This presentation of college football presented by Best Buy will continue after this message and a word from our Jack, our crew, has already got some plans to pull up and watch that one. And you see the difference in the populations and the stadium capacities. Now, to be fair to the folks here at Boone Pickens Stadium, they are under construction. That 48.5 by next year will be considerably higher when they finish all the work here in Stillwater. Going to get it over 60, as a matter of fact. 3rd down, and that's not to the marker. Broadway on the catch. Well, Texas' defense, Jesse, done a very good job forcing 3 and outs this season. Almost 36%. Today, there you go.
How about that? Not being able to force 3 and outs, which is the biggest reason why Oklahoma State has run 71 plays, 72 now in this football game. You know, it's funny, Oklahoma State coming in the last 5 games have been averaging 560 yards of offense. Today, they could be on pace for 650.
And they run a reverse on 4th and 3, and it does not work. Dion Beasley got all over Bowman that time, and a gamble. That's one of the few times that Mike Gundy has come up with the snake eyes when he's gambled. Otherwise, everything else has pretty much gone his way.
We'll give Texas defense a lot of credit for staying home and sniffing it out. Now, if you're Texas and Colt McCoy, with under 15 minutes left now, you got to start thinking we're throwing the football. We're trying to get back in this game. And while Oklahoma State's defense, especially against the pass, has played so up to this point, I think this is where they get really tested.
116th ranked in the nation coming into the game. They have played way better than their statistics. That's not a bad idea. Get it to Charles, and a Texas first down. I would think that play is going to be open a lot, that option.
I would think so, too. Watching that play, I'm amazed. It doesn't seem like Colt McCoy has had the opportunity to just sit back in the pocket and find receivers. It seems like he's been forced all game long to flush to his right or to his left. Oklahoma State's defense has done a good job with only 4 guys. Again, if they can't sack Colt McCoy, they're forcing him to move and getting pressure.
Well, I think the deal is Oklahoma State has a moving pocket on purpose. McCoy's has been moving because he's had no choice. Well, there should be a flag there. That certainly looks like intentional grounding. Now McCoy's going to make a claim. Andre Sexton, the strong safety, had come in, and there's the flag. Yeah, that.
Well, he wasn't throwing it to an eligible wide receiver. That was thrown back towards his offensive line.
Intentional grounding on the offense, number 12. It's a loss of down from the spot of the pass. It'll be second down.
Well, it's been a mistake-filled. Wow, Mack Brown is irate. But let's see if the officials were right with this one, as we initially thought they were.
Oklahoma State going back to the pressure package.
Yeah, that's Ulatowski. In the history of football, guys with names like Ulatowski play on the line. You don't find them out wide very often. I don't know why that is.
Fred Biletnikoff was one.
Yeah,
that might be the last.
It's just sort of one of those things about football. McCoy, he's got a lot of room to run. And he has been very effective when forced out of the pocket on his own. Chris Collins fighting through some injuries, able to make that stop.
And again, he's been forced out of the pocket a lot.
Yeah.
It almost seems like every snap he's not able to just take his 5-step drop and set up. Now, give Colt McCoy a lot of credit. While the timing has been disruptive and things aren't necessarily there for him downfield, he has done a very good job today of tucking the ball and getting north and running.
He has taken a bit of a beating today. As you saw, 9 times he's been hit. And why not take the pressure off? Boy, Charles does not let you get him with that first tackle. An ankle tackle will not work, and he is very close to that marker. Looks like he may have the first down. Quentin Moore finally able to make the stop on Jamal Charles.
If you're Oklahoma State and you're sending a lot of pressure, trying to confuse coverages and mix stuff up, you risk getting gashed. And that time, that was very close. Jamal Charles almost broke that. You run that risk. You can try to confuse the quarterback, but you leave big lanes wide open. On that particular play, Jamal Charles was able to convert for the first down.
We had that huge fourth quarter against Nebraska a week ago. It gave Texas their 7th win. Underneath, that's Finley. Now, Texas is trying to get 7 straight 10-win seasons, which is just staggering. But if they don't get this one, they'll go to 7-3, and that 10-win streak is in big-time danger.
Well, I'll tell you what's interesting, too, is in the Mack Brown era, they've only had 7 road losses in his entire tenure. In 10 years, only 7 road losses and 6 consecutive seasons over 10 wins. That's just what's expected now at Texas.
And on the road, Jesse, against unranked teams, and the Cowboys are an unranked team, they are 31-4 against unranked teams away from Austin.
Wow.
Obayana, I don't think looks like a first down. Chatham on the stop for the Cowboys. So there's a lot of trends that are being busted right now in Stillwater. And it is a first down for. It's a nice little drive, by the way, for Texas.
It is.
It's not been easy, and they overcame a major penalty.
Just moving it methodically. Good play by Colt McCoy, mixing it up nicely, too.
Quick hitter. Defensive back slipped just a little bit. And there's Cosby on the catch. Again, very close, but just short of the mark. And off we go to our new. And Jamal Charles will march into the end zone. And is he about to start a fourth quarter like last week? He's just too good to keep out of there. And Texas, still a long way to go.
Well, he's too fast. He has that speed. Texas just not going away. It's a gift to Jamal Charles, and he has the vision to cut it back. And just the speed gets him to the sideline. He's able to just creep in the end zone. You see Colt McCoy in the sidelines now getting his guys fired up, trying to keep him in this football game. To get this extra conversion, down 2 possessions, a lot of time still left in the fourth quarter.
Bailey on for the PAT. He aims that right at the basketball arena, and Texas back on the board after a sluggish third quarter on offense. They come out of the fourth quarter, led by Colt McCoy, but now it's up to the other side of the ball for the Longhorns. Can they stop a potent Oklahoma State? Meantime, Mack Brown's team trying to get out of another 21-point hole. They were down 21-0 in the first half, 35-14, and now Jamal Charles' second touchdown run. And there's a little pooch kick. These have been somewhat effective trying to get it away from Cox, but look at the effort there to get it to the 32-yard line. And let's visit with Joe, who made that great play on special teams to catch that in the air, because if it hits the ground, it's a live ball, and Texas trying to trap Oklahoma State with that little pooch kick. That's Savage showing the great body control. Picked up a couple and looked like at first he was going to get stopped at the line of scrimmage. Bobineau on the stop for UT.
You know, a lot of people compare Oklahoma State's offense to that in Florida and what's run by Urban Meyer. They say it's the same system, but I think the biggest difference watching Oklahoma State, Zach Robinson plays a lot more under center. We're used to seeing Tim Tebow in the shotgun a lot, and that the personnel groupings at Oklahoma State are different too. They play a lot of the game with a tight end on the field and with a fullback as well. In my opinion, this offense is more multiple than what we see at Florida.
Savage gets it, and this time Texas waiting for him. He gets maybe another yard and a half, but Ocam in there for Texas, number 97. You see Houston hanging around there also for the Longhorns. Well, time permitting, stay tuned for the Dell post-game report featuring scores and highlights with John Saunders and Craig James in New York. Mr. Flutie is on the road. Savage 86 yards and 18 carries. And here we go with one of those third downs that no offensive coach likes to have.
Players jumping up and down the sideline for Texas right now. Big third down, and they know it.
Empty backfield. Wide open in the middle of the field. That is Des Bryant. And he is carrying Longhorns for 10 yards and more. He may have made more yards than Jesse with everybody on his back than he did when he first caught the football.
Reminiscent of Mark Navarro carrying a bunch of San Francisco 49ers. The strength of this freshman, you see the ability. We talked about it already. His physical ability as only a freshman, and the physicality, the way he plays, what he brings to the field.
You see what Oklahoma State has done with their passing attack today. That was a 26-yard gain. Robinson in trouble, does the smart thing. Brings up second down and 10.
Another reason they don't give up a lot of sacks. It's true. He's got the ability to avoid the rush, but when nothing's there, he's not afraid to throw it out of bounds. Very smart quarterback play, Oklahoma State.
Looks like they may have been going, is that Bowman who fell down? And I think that certainly doesn't help when your top wideout just slips coming out of the pattern. That was the initial read, too, it looked like, Jesse, huh?
I think he was going from that read. I think he may have wanted Brandon Pettigrew down the middle of the field as well. Texas did a good job of taking it away and forced the throw away.
On the option, Savage got a nice block. And a tremendous tackle in the open field by Beasley. That could have busted. Pettigrew had a great seal block there, Jesse, but a wonderful play by Beasley coming up from his corner position.
Brandon Pettigrew had an unbelievable seal block on the outside. That play, I thought, was going to spring for a big one. Dion Beasley, though, doing a nice job at the line of scrimmage, playing physical, getting in the backfield to make the play. That was a big saving tackle right there for Texas.
10 out of 15 on third downs. That's unbelievable. Make it 10 out of 16. And Beasley in there again, trying to go to Bryant. 6'2", 210. But Beasley shorter. That's one of the concerns Texas had going into the game. There's a huge trend now in all levels of football. Tall receivers, 6'3", 6'4", and 5'10", 5'11", 5'9" defensive back.
It's true. Texas brings Dion Beasley in the game in their nickel situations. They bump Brandon Foster inside, and they'll let Dion Beasley play the boundary corner. And that job just doing a nice job sticking with Des Bryant on the speed out, forcing the breakup.
Matt Fogge's last punt, but out of bounds at the 1-yard line. takes off that 60-degree wedge again, and he's done another magnificent job. Matt Barnes. Well, you only got to go about 98 yards if you're Texas just to get within 7 points. No problem. See if they can see what Texas has to do. It didn't work out real well the last time they had to dig out of their own 1-yard line. They weren't able to get a first down.
Well, this punting game by Oklahoma State so far in the second half is forcing Texas to earn this game. If they're going to come back and win, they're going to earn it.
If you got a home run hitter in the backfield in Charles. Underneath. And doesn't even get to the 5-yard line. Nate Jones is swamped. Well, we got more. Your area. College football lives here. Nice catch. Boy, that's a pretty catch by Cosby. And that's a first down for the Longhorns.
That's a big-time throw. In my opinion, the toughest throw for a quarterback to make is a timing skinny post glance route. That is just a timing route. Colt McCoy sticks it right on his face mask. Sean Crosby able to reel it in, move the chains.
And Texas now going quickly, not bothering the huddle, taking the signals from the other side. I thought they would already have the play snapped by now. They wasted a little bit of time. They hustled everybody up to the line and then stepped back. And McCoy has run quite a bit, picked up 5 there. For Chris Collins took him down, number 44.
And I wonder if a little bit of that confusion isn't the Oklahoma State defense showing everybody at the line of scrimmage looking like it's an all-out pressure, like you mentioned. Then all of a sudden at the snap, bailing out into big zone coverages, trying to confuse young Colt McCoy.
McCoy has run the ball 11 times. Look out here! Charles has the speed! Touchdown, Texas! 75 yards. It's the 4th quarter. It's Charles time.
We talked about that coming into the football game. What we saw last week against Nebraska and what Jamaal Charles brings as a home run hitter. And right there you see he doesn't need much. He just needs a little seam and he can take it all the way. He is one of the fastest players in college football, if not the fastest. It's just a simple zone give, and he's got the ability to find the hole, and as soon as he breaks into the second level of the defense, he is gone. There's not another player in college football on that side of the ball that I think can catch him.
That's a 98-yard drive in 4 plays. It took 1 minute and 31 seconds, 75 of them in a big gulp by Jamaal Charles with his 3rd rushing touchdown. Can Texas continue? We've had 961 total yards in this game between these two teams, and Jamaal Charles, is he about to do it again? A 75-yard run to get us to within 7 if you're a Texas fan. Down 21, down 14, down 7. Texas, the 2nd time this has happened in this game.
The 4th quarter belongs to Jamaal Charles. We've seen that now in the last 2 weeks. He almost gets better as the game goes on.
Again, that pooch kick. And it's going to be fair caught. Conservative play by Tommy Devereaux. Nothing wrong with that. Doesn't take any chances. And Oklahoma State now facing the biggest drive of the game for them.
Well, and you said it. They've had a ton of yards so far in this game. They've moved the ball very methodically, both running and passing. And yet here they are. This game is turning into a shootout. And they're going to get tested here midway through the 4th quarter.
Play calling for the Cowboys, largely working for them. The mixture of pass and run. We've got Dantrell Savage talk about people who can break big plays. No question he has that capability for Oklahoma State. And Zach Robinson has been a steady hand at quarterback. Behind Carter's block, Savage gets the edge. Short of the first down, but not by much. He took a hard hit from Bobineau.
More speed. Deion Beasley almost collapsed this play in the backfield from the weak cornerback position, but Savage just too much speed getting to the outside. What's interesting here as well, I don't think a shootout necessarily plays into the advantage of Oklahoma State. We talked to Tim Beckman, their defensive coordinator this week, who coached at Ohio State a couple years back and said, look, I don't want to get into shootouts. That's not my thing. I'm not used to them. I don't think his defense is built to take them either.
Can the offense keep the ball away? Robinson does have that good speed, gets around the edge. He's got a first down. That will temporarily stop the clock. Well, Navy and Notre Dame had a crazy game. A more modest streak at stake here. Oklahoma State has not beaten Texas since 1997. Never have Oklahoma State team beaten Mack Brown since he's been the Longhorns coach. And Derek Lokey makes the stop there. No gain for Savage.
Oklahoma State right now really trying to slow this thing down. They want the clock to run, keep the ball on the ground, whether it's Dontrell Savage or Zach Robinson on this drive, running the football, trying to wear this clock out.
And of course, the little yellow marks underneath the school's names are the timeouts. So everybody's got the full complement in case Texas is going to need them. No, they will when they get the ball back. And Oklahoma State's going to take one of those little yellow marks off. We'll take it on for the Cowboys, who burned one of their 3 timeouts. Looking underneath, now going long for Bowman, knocked away by Beasley, who has played a terrific game. I thought underneath he was looking at the tight end Pettigrew, and he did glance there, but goes for the big shot, and it is knocked away. 3rd and 10.
Well, Jamal Charles has had a great game so far offensively in the 4th quarter. I would argue Deion Beasley has maybe had as much of an impact defensively for Texas in this 4th quarter. We've seen him all over the place now, breaking plays up, going up against a bigger, more physical receiver and breaking that up. That's a ball I think a lot of people would anticipate Adarius Bowman coming down with.
Robinson's been magnificent on 3rd downs in this game, and this is the biggest one he's had so far.
It was big there, too. The incompletion stops the clock. That is big.
He'll take the hole and will not get the 1st down, so Oklahoma State will have to punt, but they do get some positive yards, and this time they keep the clock rolling. Griffin on the stop for Texas.
Well, we just saw, unfortunately for Oklahoma State, it does not take Texas a long time to go a long way.
But on the ground, that's the funny thing. You know, most of the time you think of scoring quickly, it's in the air.
Absolutely, yeah, you do. And they showed, because their home run hitter, that guy, wearing 25 in the backfield, he can get after it.
Fodge has been incredible with his accuracy, getting it inside the 20, and he has done it again. Wow. Not the 1-yard line this time, mind you, but still inside the 10 to the 9.
You can't ask any more of your punter than that, can you?
He's been incredible. 2 inside the 5 and 1 inside the 10. 46 yards on that punt.
And he's been unbelievable. He's been pinning this Texas team so far deep into their own end in the 2nd half. Again, making Texas earn it. Can they do it? Here we go. You look at these numbers in 04 and 05. You see the deficit. You see what ended up happening in final score. Today, down 21-7.
21-0 at one point, 21-7, 21-14, then back to 35-14, back to 21. Now you see where we are.
Will history repeat itself?
Your folks in the bright orange would not like to see that. McCoy stepping out of 1 sack, and boy, his elusiveness is amazing. What a run by McCoy to get it out to the 25-yard line.
There were 2 defensive linemen that had a solid hold and 1 arm on Colt McCoy, and his strength running the football broke those tackles. This has been the most impressive aspect of his game today. It probably hasn't been the passing, but it's been actually the running of Colt McCoy.
And now look out here. So dangerous. Another 1st down for Texas.
You can feel this thing turning a little bit, can't you, right now? Texas offensively just moving the football in chunks, not getting a few at a time, but gashing this Oklahoma State defense. You wonder now if depth playing a problem for Oklahoma State. Guys that have been on the field all game long, not able to rotate guys in. It is a tired Oklahoma State defense. They look at it right now.
McCoy going for it right here to Shipley. I thought he was going to get in just off the momentum of the tackle. He's down to the 1-yard line. The tackle made by Lacey.
The biggest play of the day in the passing game for Texas comes at the most opportune time. Jordan Shipley down the sideline. One of the few times Colt McCoy has been able to just take a regular drop and let it fly, and hits Jordan Shipley in stride and drags the defender down to the 1-yard line. This Texas team looks very strong, and it's making a lot of people here now look very, very nervous.
No more so than the man in the back of the head we saw there, Mike Gundy. I think Mack Brown's a little nervous, too. Lokey goes in from the nose tackle position for Texas, normally as a fullback. Second effort, And not in. They go with McGee, and he didn't make it. And the clock continues to run.
Again, how many plays does it just take Texas to get down to the 1-yard line once again?
Nothing at all.
Oh, it's been the most quick strike deal we've seen all game. It just shows you the explosive, the playmakers they have on that side of the football. And now Oklahoma State's defense, with their backs to the wall, they need a huge effort here.
Again, that jumbo package, and this time McCoy, and I did not admit I'm close. And
I don't think he got it,
but
no.
let me ask you to look ahead. If they get to 4th down, clock is running, but you have all of your timeouts. What do you do for Texas? Pick or go for it?
If I'm Texas, I go for it because I would not risk letting Oklahoma State's offense back on the field and to convert 3rd downs and continue
to win the game.
I think there's too many playmakers on the sideline right now for Oklahoma State to not go for it if I'm Texas. The momentum right now is with me if I'm Mack Brown.
Yeah, they've tried up the middle twice and failed. Same formation. Obanya 3, Loki 96 and 2, McGee. McGee easily touchdown Texas. We're a point away from being tied up for the first time since nothing.
Well, this Texas offense has looked good in this 4th quarter, hasn't it?
It says a lot for their conditioning, I'll tell you that, because they don't get tired. Obviously, they are in superior condition, not necessarily to Oklahoma State, but by superior, I mean excellent condition to be able to do this seemingly week after week.
They've looked good. I really feel they've worn this Oklahoma State defense down. They look tired, and they've taken advantage of it. And here we are, a little over 3 minutes left with this extra point. This game is tied.
Oh, and now Oklahoma State looks like they have to burn their 2nd timeout because they may have had too many players on the field.
The 32nd timeout.
Well, Vince Welch.
You wonder if there's a psychological advantage there. Again, Mack Brown telling his players before this game, weather the storm in the first half because we are the better team in the second half against this Oklahoma State group.
The last 2 drives have been 10 plays for 189 yards. Those brilliant punts, and it didn't make a difference with this Texas offense. Look at where we are now in the score with 3:22 to go. That says it all right there in just 1 quarter. Welcome back to Nebraska, the sequel.
Not even a quarter played, and Texas almost has as many yards as they had in this game in the first 3 quarters. And it's not like Oklahoma State hasn't made them earn it. You just touched on it. They've done everything they can offensively, trying to run the ball more, burn clock, with the punt game, forcing them and pinning them inside their own 5-yard line a couple times now, 3 times inside the 20. And still, Texas has responded.
And I'm particularly impressed with the distances they had to go. The last 2 drives started at the 1 and the 9. That's absolutely amazing. One busted open by Charles, 75 yards, and then, of course, the big 60-yarder to Shipley. It's Shipley's first catch of the game, I believe, and it ends up being a 60-yarder. Now, here's the deal. They've been doing these little pooch kicks, forcing either Cox or Devereaux to rush up and either make a fair catch or just catch them and tumble. That's exactly the strategy again. This one, however, to be returned. And that's Cox. And he cannot escape, and flags come down. We may have a face mask. And that would be wonderful field position for the Cowboys if that's the call. And that's based on the reaction from the Texas sidelines. That is going to be the call.
Question is it 5 yards or is it 15 yards?
During the return, personal foul, grabbing the face mask against the kicking team, number 23. 15 yards from the end of the run, first down.
That's the bad face mask if you're Texas. This is the last thing you wanted to do, is give this Oklahoma State offense great field position. Here it is. You see Parrish Cox going down. Oh, looks like he had a couple players grabbing his face mask on that. It wasn't just one guy. Here they are now, wow, almost at midfield, going in just a little over 3 minutes to try to win this football game.
It's been a long time since we've had a penalty on Texas since I think the intentional grounding was the last one. This one really hurts, potentially. Screen pass set up. Using Savage, got some blocks, and he's got a hold. Oh, certainly in field goal range, if nothing else, after that explosive play.
2 heavyweight offenses right now just trading punches at this point in the 4th quarter. We've seen Texas with a quick stride offense, scoring quickly in chunks. And on the first play after the game is tied, Oklahoma State sets up a beautiful screen pass to its big playmaker, Dontrell Savage, from the backfield. And he's able to get it down now inside field goal range with just around 3 minutes left. Clock still running.
You see Savage all-purpose yards, nearly 200 on this game. Jason Ricks' longest kick of the season, by the way, 32 yards. They're at 37 right now, but plenty of time, and only one timeout for the Cowboys. You wonder if Texas has to start thinking about taking timeouts. Savage pops into the secondary and is brought down short of the first down, as Foster maybe saved a touchdown.
If I'm Texas, I might start thinking about burning some of these, because I have the ability on offense to get back in this game and score, but I don't want Oklahoma State to just whittle this clock down so that if they do score and I get it back, I don't have any time to work with.
What a crazy fourth quarter this has turned into. And Mike Gundy has time to take a note or two, write some things down, and everything's just fine for him. Sure.
Very composed on the sidelines.
It hasn't always been today, but he certainly is right now.
Taking their time, getting the calls from the bench right now, putting themselves in the best opportunity to get the best play called.
And it didn't work out very well that time, as Lamar Houston, number 36, all over Savage, sets up biggest third down of the game. And they'll need 5. And that's the field goal kicker, Jason Ricks, who's 8 out of 12 on the year. His hometown, Austin, Texas. How about that? Savage, 183 total yards on the game.
And ball security has to be of the utmost importance right now for Oklahoma State. And instead of trying to fight for all these extra yards, the most important thing is to keep possession of the football. At least give your team a chance to win.
Robinson, I don't know if he expected that when he turned around. Lamar Houston was right in his mug. And so now it's going to be up, I imagine, to the field goal kicker, Jason Ricks, and here he comes.
It's easy to look back on play calls, but that's one. Throwing an incompletion now stops the clock. Had they run the football right on that play, this clock might still be running, or Texas would be forced to use a timeout.
And they didn't use any, Texas. They've got them all. Jason Ricks tried 1 from 54. You really can't grab him for missing that, but this one's a little bit different. This will match his long of the year. He has made his last 2 short kicks at 25 and 26. This is 32. It matches season high. No.
Oh, man.
And you could tell by the crowd noise, because you only heard a little bit of cheering. There's just that knot of folks in Texas who are happy about that. So now with 3 timeouts.
And 1:13 left on the clock, and that's critical because Oklahoma State tried to throw a pass. It was incomplete. And you see Rick's reaction. He can't believe it.
Right-footed kicker from that hash, too. You figure he's just got to try to hook that thing in there, and he's just beside himself, and you certainly feel for him.
Take another look at the kick. And it just kind of corkscrews away from him to the right.
Well, that was a strange spin that started out right down the middle of the fairway.
And here we go, Texas now. This is actually the best field position they've had in a while. With 1:13 seconds, all their timeouts left.
Underneath, they go to the big tight end, Finley, and he is just short of the first down.
Texas going to go, obviously, to the no huddle, get up to the line of scrimmage. But they're not panicking right now. They've obviously been through the situation before. They look very calm. A lot of that's on Colt McCoy's shoulders.
First down for Texas, stops the clock. .49 seconds. Well, they're going to have to start going downfield. Ryan Bailey's long is 52. Nothing there. Fountain for Oklahoma State.
Big defensive stop when they need it. Oklahoma State now have looked very tired, but getting an inspired effort here late in the game.
Texas takes a timeout. We've got a crazy one. Michigan State's pretty good football. It seems like it always is every Saturday. And we may be staring overtime in the face here. Alabama has gone ahead of LSU today in that crazy Saban game that folks in the South have been pretty hostile about. Second down and about 12. And they get McCoy again. No, but open! Finley! First down to the 40-yard line. Got out of bounds. Clock stopped anyway. 31 seconds to go, and Moore makes the stop.
Colt McCoy doing another excellent job moving around in the pocket, keeping the play alive, and creating on the go, hitting his big tight end, Jermichael Finley, down the boundary.
31 yards. Ryan Bailey just told our Vince Welch he can go 50, 55 yards if he has to. Right now it would be about 53 as Charles gets 4. Texas stops the clock with 23 seconds to go. Chatham on the stop for the Cowboys. There is no wind conditions here at all, which is unusual. This is a pretty windy state. And of course, with this bowl effect they have here now, which they didn't have a year ago because of construction. Well, it was a difficult decision. The panel has voted on our Chevrolet players of the game. As you take a look at Bailey and his warm-up process, remember his long of the year, 52. Jamal Charles, 2 fourth-quarter touchdowns, 75-yard spectacular run. And Jacob Lacey, who took the first pass of the game from Colt McCoy and ran it in for a touchdown. And ends up with 3 picks on the day. In recognition of their efforts, Chevrolet will award a $1,000 scholarship to each school's athletic funds. General scholarship funds, pardon me.
You know, and I know Colt McCoy's thrown 3 interceptions today, but I would argue he's played outstanding in the sense that he's run the ball extremely well. And in this fourth quarter, he's made some big plays, help his team back in the game.
He'll roll the pocket. That's Shipley. Oh, wow. Shipley, who had the big 60-yarder, was so close to getting a first down, or at least making an easier field goal. Now, 3rd down and 6.
That's a big drop. It's a big drop for Texas. Coaches will tell their quarterbacks that they would like to get the ball around the 30-yard line. That's kind of the standpoint from where teams would like to kick field goals. You want to get it to the 30 right now if you're Texas, at least, to give your kicker a good chance of connecting on his field goal. Jordan Shipley was very near 30-yard line when he dropped that pass.
Right now it would be a little over 53 yards for Bailey. Flags are down. It could be a longer kick. This is a false start on the Longhorns, and it's going to be against Texas. What a fatal error.
Wow.
False start on the offense, number 55. The 5-yard penalty, still 3rd down.
And that's Cedric Dockery. I'm sure that's about the one time he never wanted to have his uniform number called. So now you're talking about a crazy long field goal of about 59 yards.
We haven't seen a lot of self-destruction from the Texas offense in the second half, but on these last 2 plays, a drop pass and now a false start penalty, they're almost not giving themselves an opportunity to win this game before going into overtime.
An interesting decision to make if you're calling plays for Texas. McCoy could run this, and he will, and he'll get a first down. And look at that. Colt McCoy so alert, so smart. And now this is a much more manageable attempt for Ryan Bailey. Plus, they can run another play, and they have a timeout.
Colt McCoy is fired up right now, and he should be. He has done this all game long. And at the biggest point or moment of this football game, he's able to scramble out, not just get positive yards, get a first down, and get the ball out to the 27-yard line. His kicker is loving him right now. He's giving him a great chance.
Ryan Bailey, he's from Austin, Texas. 14 out of 18, Bailey on the year. This is well within his range. They go to Charles. Of course, he can run this in himself for a touchdown. He doesn't. It'll be about a 40-yard field goal. You might as well run this clock down to 1 and get ready for Ryan Bailey. And that's exactly what Mack Brown does. He takes it down to 2 seconds. You know, Ryan Bailey was awarded a scholarship this year. He's a former walk-on. The first kick Ryan Bailey ever tried, it was in the snow in Lincoln, Nebraska. The regular kicker was hurt. Bailey had about a 25-yard field goal, swirling winds, miserable conditions, and he nailed it. And Texas beat Nebraska in Lincoln a year ago. And off of that, Bailey earned a scholarship. Very popular player on his team. The team was thrilled when Mack Brown made the announcement. They'll even be more thrilled if he can somehow manage the winning kick.
2 seconds left on the clock.
You know what, though? There's not real pressure. I'll tell you why. It's not to win the game. I mean, it's to win the game, but if he doesn't make it, okay.
They get another chance, true. But, you know, especially, I think, after watching your offense and defense fight to get this team back in the game, and you've now watched Colt McCoy really put this team on his shoulders on this last drive to give you an opportunity. Believe me, he wants to make this thing right now.
40 yards for an amazing come-from-behind win. Moneyball. Texas wins it. Well, it came down to 2 kickers from Austin, Texas. One who had a chance to put his team in front, couldn't get it done. The other one had a chance to get his team to win it, and he did. Mack Brown, Mike Gundy. Well, Mack Brown will walk off the field knowing they still haven't beaten in Oklahoma State, in Stillwater, or in Austin.
It's the way the season has gone for Texas this year, hasn't it?
Hey, Vince, go ahead.
Just had a long conversation with Mike Gundy. What did you tell him, Mac?
Well, I told Mike they did a great job. It's been unfortunate that Oklahoma State has coached against us so well and played against us so hard, and it hadn't worked out for them. And this was a great football game that was kind of 3/4 their way, and our teams won a whole lot of football games. And as I told you at halftime, they believe, and give Oklahoma State credit for doing a great job today. Give our staff and our kids credit for hanging in there and winning at the end.
What's been the key in the turnaround for your team this season?
Oh, I think just growing up. We were really inexperienced in a lot of positions, and we had a lot of things we needed to work on, and the guys just keep believing. This staff's been around a long time, so we got a lot left that we can do, got a whole lot of things we can fix, obviously, and a lot of things that need to get better for next week.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Dave?
All right, Vince, I know they call it Bedlam when Oklahoma State plays Oklahoma, but this was Bedlam. 311 fourth-quarter yards for Texas, and it ends with a field goal. 38-35, Texas over Oklahoma State. Tune in tonight for Saturday Night Football, brought to you by Southwest Airlines here on ABC at 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific. Florida State, Boston College, Texas A&M, Oklahoma, USC, Oregon State. Check your local listings for the game in your area. For Jesse Palmer and Vince Welch, I'm Dave Lamont. So long from Stillwater.